I've gotten involved in community service in a number of ways since I've been at Reinstall. There's definitely the opportunity to actually get out into the community and perform a number of different activities. We actually have committees that are designed to do just that. But to me, the biggest thing that I've enjoyed is some of the, what I'll call competitions that we do here at Reinstall. We have two different locations that we operate out of, and so what we've done is actually, pit those two locations against one another in different charity competitions. So whether it's a coat drive or a canned food drive, or, the most recent one that we did was a support for the troops in Afghanistan, where we actually, again, got the two locations to work against one another in order to fill up boxes to send over to the troops. So I think it, not only leads to an increased sense of camaraderie, but that competitive aspect of it, also ultimately just helps the charities by allowing us to raise more and more. The kinds of things that happen at Reinstall that make it unique really relate to the culture, in my opinion. There is a very large sense of family here. It's a second-generation family-owned business, and that really shines through in the culture because the people actually treat one another like a family. But there's also another aspect of the culture is the openness, and that's something that I've really loved about working here is that our CEO has a very true and real open door policy. So I can just at any given point in time go in and ask him a question, strike up a conversation, but at the same time I'm just as comfortable doing that as I am going out to the production floor or the warehouse and talking with some of the guys out there. Another good example of that is just last week I was at a senior leadership meeting with the CEO and several other VPs, and about an hour later I was downtown at the Reds game enjoying myself with a bunch of other employees from Reinstall, including the CEO, and that was a great time. And so I think that's really one of the things that makes this a unique place to work. I think the thing that surprised me the most about Reinstall was just the level of opportunity across the organization. Where I come from a very large company by comparison, but at the same time, I've been able to get my hands into many more things having come to Reinstall. So there's really, for me, a much greater opportunity to grow. Especially as a corporate resource, I get the ability not only to work in the distribution business, but also within the manufacturing business and our design and engineering services business. So it's really a neat mix for me to be able to get my hands on a number of different things. But along comes with that much greater responsibility. So not only am I expected to do the normal day-to-day, but there's also many other project type work that you kind of get yourself introduced to, but that again, being a relatively smaller organization, you kind of get to take ownership of those projects and see them to fruition, which has been a really nice thing for me. I am the most proud of my son, and I know that that doesn't necessarily relate specifically to my career or my job at Reinstall, but in a very real way it does. The fact that I'm working at Reinstall, and because of the family values of this organization, because of the open culture, that really allows me additional time to spend with my family, and again, ultimately with my son, and to see him grow up, and to just make me that much more proud. And that's really one of the great things about working at Reinstall, is that there's such a great sense of family, a great sense of values that have been instilled in the organization and in all of the employees that work here, and that really allows for me to spend the time that I need doing the things that I like to do outside of work. There's not, at least that I've experienced, any type of 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 mentality. It's more of, there's a certain level of ownership that everybody understands and accepts, and they know that they need to get their work done, and everyone works together to get it done. And so from that perspective, if you do get it done, great, go spend your time doing what you like to do. Reinstall has helped me grow in a number of different ways, but I think it's primarily been in the increased level of responsibility that I've been given. And not responsibility from the perspective of managing people or anything of that nature, more so from the perspective of responsibility to take a project and see it through to the end and maybe that is a project that you historically haven't gotten yourself involved with. In my experience, I have been primarily what I would consider a subject matter expert, and that certainly is valued here at Reinstall. But at the same time, some of my other leadership qualities, project management qualities, and things of those nature have been identified by the leadership team here, and so I've been given increased responsibility, and that has allowed me to, in my opinion, thrive and do a lot more things that I may otherwise not have done to this point.